I want you to imagine this. You're getting lunch ready. On the table is a bowl of white rice, a piece of fish, a few green vegetables. It all feels familiar like every meal you've had for decades. But today, something makes you pause. You look at that bowl of rice and quietly ask yourself, is this meal still enough to truly nourish my health? Hello, my name is Dr. John Matthews. I'm 60 years old. I'm not just a doctor, I'm a father, a grandfather, and a man walking the same path. You're on the journey through the second half of life. And today I want to share something really simple with you. Not a new medication, not a strict diet, but a single bowl of quinoa. Have you heard of quinoa before here in the US? People call it a superfood. But to me, quinoa isn't a trend, it's an opportunity. A gentle way to care for your body, especially when age starts whispering that things aren't quite the same anymore. I had a patient named Eleanor, 72 years old, a retired elementary school teacher. She came to see me with a small concern. Her arms felt weaker, opening jars became harder, and she often had cramps at night. But all her tests came back normal. So I asked her about her meals, and just as I expected, she was still eating the way she did in her 40s. White rice, lean meat, boiled vegetables. Not unhealthy, but not enough anymore. You see, as we get older, our bodies stop using protein as efficiently. You might eat the same amount, but only absorb a small part of it. Over time, this means your muscles slowly shrink. Not because you're lazy, but because your body now needs more, and it needs better. That's where quinoa comes in. At first glance, quinoa looks like a tiny brown rice grain, but don't let its appearance fool you. It's one of the rare plant foods that contain all 9 essential amino acids, the ones your muscles need to repair and grow. It's rich in iron, which helps deliver oxygen to your muscles. It's full of magnesium, which helps with muscle relaxation and prevents cramps and fatigue. And let's not forget the fiber, something most older adults lack, leading to constipation and poor nutrient absorption. I still remember when Eleanor first swapped out white rice for quinoa at dinner. She cooked it with a bit of mixed veggies, sprinkled some cashews on top. A week later, she came back smiling. Doctor, I've been sleeping better and my arms aren't as tired. I even showed my granddaughter how to cook quinoa. And when she told me that, I smiled too. Because I knew this wasn't just about changing her diet. It was a message she was sending to her body: I still care. I still want to feel strong. I haven't given up. Quinoa is easy to use. You can cook it just like rice, eat it warm with grilled chicken, or toss it into a salad. For my older patients, I often suggest starting slow. Replace white rice a few times a week. No pressure, no stress, because true strength starts from small, steady choices. Now, maybe you're thinking, can one food really make a difference? I understand the doubt, but think of it this way. We don't need to move mountains. We just need to move one small stone at a time, and quinoa. That's a perfect first stone. I've worked with hundreds of people, ages 50 through 80. And what I've learned didn't come from textbooks. It came from their stories, their eyes, their quiet worries. The fear of losing control, the fear of becoming dependent, the sadness of realizing the body doesn't respond like it used to. But I've also witnessed renewal. People who dared to begin again with a meal, a walk, a bowl of quinoa. So no, I'm not offering you magic. I'm offering you a choice. A simple, gentle choice that can support you as time goes on. Have you ever tried quinoa before? If not, I encourage you to give it a try. Not because I say so, but because you deserve another chance to feel strong again. And if you've already tried it, I'd love to know, how did it make you feel? Do you have a favorite way to prepare it? Remember, we can't go back to being 30, but we can move forward with wisdom, kindness, and a spoonful of quinoa. Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt like your legs needed just a second longer? Not painful, not dizzy, just different. Maybe your feet hesitate, your hands tremble a bit, or your steps feel slower than the way you remember them. If you've felt that before, I want you to know you are not alone. And it doesn't mean you're past your prime. I'm Dr. John Matthews, and I've treated hundreds, maybe thousands of people between 50 and 80. And I'll tell you this with all honesty, that strange feeling in your body, it's not the end. It's a whisper, a gentle reminder. Your body is saying, I'm changing, and I need you to notice. In medicine, we call this sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength due to aging. It creeps in slowly through small moments. Standing up, lifting a grocery bag, walking up the stairs. If you're not paying attention, you might lose up to 30% of your muscle by age 60 without even realizing it. I remember a patient, Rosa 69, who used to be a dancer. She said, "Doctor, I eat clean, I still practice yoga, but now even opening a bottle feels hard." We ran some tests, and yes, it was sarcopenia. I looked at her and said, "Rosa, this isn't unusual, but it's not unchangeable. You see, recognizing the change is the most important part. Sarcopenia isn't loud like a broken bone or a heart attack. It's quiet, so quiet you might miss it. So subtle that we often blame it on just getting old or sleeping the wrong way. But I'm here to tell you no. You don't have to accept it as your fate, because while sarcopenia is common, it's not inevitable. Even at 60, 70 or beyond, your body still has the ability to rebuild muscle if you give it the right care. Science has proven that with the right protein, good nutrition, and gentle movement, seniors can regain muscle strength in just a few months. I saw a man in his 70s regain his independence after 10 weeks of walking and changing his diet. No fancy pills, no machines, just persistence and faith that the body still hears us when we speak kindly to it. Many people panic when they hear words like degeneration or loss. They think it's the beginning of the end. But honestly, it's just a signal, a yellow light, not a red one. And if you slow down, look around, and make a turn, you can change direction. That's what sarcopenia is. It doesn't steal your youth. It simply reminds you. Your body isn't the same as it used to be, but it can still be strong if you learn to care for it in a new way. And the incredible thing is, once you start with a bowl of quinoa, a short walk, a few gentle exercises, your body begins to respond. It doesn't need you to become an athlete. It just needs you not to give up. If today your hands feel weaker, if you need to sit down after just a few steps, if you're beginning to doubt your inner strength, then I invite you, don't see that as decline. See it as a doorway, a chance to start listening to your body again, a chance to nourish the parts of you that may have been neglected, and most of all, a chance to prove that strength doesn't live in your age. It lives in your belief in yourself. There's something I've come to believe more deeply the older I get. The human body, even after 70, has never truly given up on us. It's just been waiting for us to return, to listen, to take care. I once had a patient, Harold, 78. When he first came to see me, he brought two things: a walking cane and deep skepticism. He said, "Doc, I think I'm too old to change. Everything's going downhill. There's no point trying." I looked at him and said something I now want to say to you. You don't need to change to become who you used to be. You just need to change to become who your body is still capable of being. You see, muscle tissue is special. It reacts quickly, and it doesn't care how old you are. As long as you send the right signals, it will respond. And that's not wishful thinking, that's science. Studies have shown that even people in their 70s and 80s can increase muscle mass and strength in as little as 8 to 12 weeks with proper nutrition and consistent gentle movement. Your body doesn't need anything extreme. It doesn't need you to be someone else. It just needs you to become someone who's ready to love yourself again. I remember Claire, 75 years old. She once couldn't even lift a pot of soup. But after 3 months of doing simple sit-to-stand exercises each day and adding a bit of quinoa to her lunch, she called me proud and almost laughing, "Doctor, I carried a bag of vegetables home from the market all by myself. I never thought I'd be able to do something so simple again." Did you catch that? What we call recovery doesn't always look dramatic. It might just be stepping out of bed without wobbling, going down the stairs without fear, pouring a cup of tea without a shaky hand. And every small moment like that, that's proof your body still knows how to heal. I've seen it too many times to think it's a rare exception. In fact, I believe it's the rule. But that rule only works if you believe first. I know you may have been disappointed before. Maybe you tried exercising, but it felt too hard. You tried dieting, but it didn't seem to help. You put in effort and didn't see results. But today I ask you to look back and ask yourself, honestly, did I really give my body enough time? Because healing doesn't happen in 3 days. There's no miracle in a week. Your body needs gentleness. It needs you to return not in a rush, but with care. If you're still breathing, if you can still take a few steps, then you still have what it takes to begin again. And if right now you're sitting here watching this video with your hands resting on your lap and a little doubt in your heart, I ask just one thing of you. Don't give up on your strength. It hasn't gone. It's just quiet, waiting for you to wake it up with patience and faith. Growing older doesn't take away your ability to recover. It only takes away the illusion that you don't have to try. But when you choose to try again, even slowly, even gently, your body will choose to return to you. Thank you for listening. And if you've ever had a moment of recovery, even the smallest one, I'd love for you to share it in the comments below. And if today you've decided to give your body another chance, just say it out loud, I'm ready. In the next part, I'll talk about something just as important: why gentle, consistent movement is the final key to full recovery. I'm Dr. John. And I believe we are never too old to begin again, as long as we still want to live fully. Let's go back for a moment. Think about yesterday, or the day before. What did your meals look like? White rice, a piece of braised meat, some boiled vegetables, maybe a glass of milk, maybe some fruit for dessert, and you thought I eat pretty well? I don't snack. I avoid junk food. That should be enough, and you're not wrong. But today I invite you to look deeper, because at our age, nutrition is no longer about just filling the belly. It's about feeding what needs to be nourished. There's a common misunderstanding I see again and again, that eating more meat or more protein automatically means you'll build muscle. I had a patient named Tom, 66. He was serious about his diet. 2 meat-based meals a day, regular milk meals always on time. And yet, he still lost muscle. His arms still got tired carrying things. He still had to stop and rest after walking just a few blocks. He asked me, "Doctor, what am I doing wrong?" And I looked at him and answered with a question: are you sure your body's actually absorbing what you're eating? Because that's the real issue. After age 50, our bodies don't absorb protein and nutrients as efficiently as before. We might eat the right things, but much of it gets wasted or processed poorly. Instead of being used to build muscle, it may be turned into excess energy or simply passed through unused. You see, it's not about how much you eat, it's about what you eat and how your body uses it. At this age, what we need are foods that are easy to digest, easy to absorb, and that actually give something real to our bodies cell by cell. That's why I often recommend starting with simple, gentle, high-quality foods like quinoa, like I mentioned earlier, is a complete plant-based protein packed with iron, magnesium, and fiber. Eggs, especially the yolk, are full of essential amino acids, vitamin D and choline, which support the nervous system. Salmon, not only a great protein source, but also rich in omega-3s, which help reduce inflammation and support muscle mass. Greek yogurt, easy to digest, full of probiotics for gut health and loaded with calcium, so important for keeping your bones strong. Now I know what you might be thinking. Doctor, I'm not used to eating quinoa. I worry about cholesterol with eggs. And salmon, it's too expensive. I hear you. But I'm not saying you have to eat these foods every day or completely change everything about the way you eat. I'm simply inviting you to start again. Just a little at a time. Swap out white rice for quinoa twice a week. Boil an egg in the morning, maybe pair it with whole grain toast. Add a small Greek yogurt after dinner. Buy salmon when it's available, or go for sardines or mackerel, which are just as rich in omega-3s but easier on the wallet. We don't need a perfect diet. We just need a mindful one. I once met an 80-year-old woman. Her name was Lily. She said something I'll never forget: I don't eat a lot, but I choose foods that treat my body kindly. I thought that was beautiful, because no matter our age, we all deserve to be treated kindly, even by what's on our plate. You don't need to eat like you did when you were younger. You need to eat like someone who truly understands their body now more than ever. And if today you choose even one food, not because it fills your stomach, but because it nourishes your muscles, you've already taken a powerful first step. Nutrition, when it's done right, doesn't just feed your body. It rebuilds your trust. It reminds you that you're still living fully. So start today. No pressure, no big overhaul. Just one small change, then another. Your body will hear it, and soon it will respond. In part 5, we'll explore something just as important. Recovery doesn't begin in the gym. It begins with the everyday choices we make. I'm Dr. John, and I believe that every good meal is like a little love letter to your body. How are you sleeping lately? It sounds like a simple question, but after 50, it becomes one of the most important ones we can ask. Because honestly, sleep is where your body heals itself quietly, gently, every single night. I once asked a patient, he was 71, pale, often fatigued. "How's your diet?" "Pretty good." "Do you stay active?" "I walk every morning." "And how are you sleeping?" He sighed. Doctor, I sleep in fits and starts. I wake up in the middle of the night. It's like the clock inside me is broken. You see, we often focus so much on food and exercise, but we forget that true recovery happens during sleep. Sleep, especially deep sleep at night, is when your body releases growth hormone to rebuild muscle tissue, restores energy at the cellular level, regulates blood sugar, blood pressure, and even mood. If you're not sleeping enough or not sleeping deeply, your body never gets the chance to repair what wore down during the day. I like to put it this way: you can cook the healthiest meal, do the best exercise, but if you're not sleeping, it's like trying to fix a house while it's still raining. So, what does enough sleep actually mean? There's no one-size-fits-all number, but most older adults need around 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. But more important than the number is the quality. Do you sleep through the night? Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Or do you still feel tired even after hours in bed? If you're tossing and turning waking too early, don't worry. That's common at our age. But it can be improved with gentle, simple changes. Keep your bedroom cool, quiet, and free of blue light. No phones. Avoid caffeine and sweets after 2 p.m. And most importantly, go for a walk every morning because movement is sleep's best friend. Yes, you heard me right. Movement, even just a 15-minute walk around the yard, is the key to unlocking deeper sleep. I had a patient named Elaine, 76 years old. She struggled with insomnia for nearly 10 years. Tried pills, acupuncture, music. Nothing helped until she started doing 20 minutes of gentle Tai Chi each morning. 2 weeks later, she came back to me and said, "I don't feel like I'm being thrown out of sleep anymore. Now it's like someone is gently rocking me to rest." That's all it took. No medication, no special doctors. Just the right kind of movement done gently, done consistently. You know, people often think exercise has to be hard, sweaty, intense. But after 50, the right movement is respectful. It's walking. Gentle yoga, simple arm and leg movements, even stretching in the morning. You don't need to work out, you just need to move with awareness. I often tell my patients, no muscle has betrayed you, it just hasn't been spoken to in a while, and you can speak to it again with every step you take, every deep breath. Sleep, nutrition, movement. They might seem separate, but really they form a golden triangle. Each supports the others. Each one nurtures your body in its own quiet way. And if you take care of all three, you don't just preserve your health, you preserve your independence. I know you were once strong. I believe you can still be strong, but now it's a different kind of strength, the strength of someone who truly listens to their body. If today you ate right and walked but still feel tired, maybe you didn't sleep enough. And if you slept well but still feel sluggish, maybe you need to move a bit more. These three always go together, and when they're working in harmony, they bring back a kind of quiet recovery. That feels like coming home to yourself. You don't have to do it all in one day. Just care for your body like an old friend. One meal, one step, one night of rest at a time. I'm Dr. John, and I truly believe your body still remembers how to recover. You just need to give it the right conditions to do so. I once met a man named Greg, 72 years old. He looked at me a bit frustrated, a bit defeated, and said, "Doc, I walk every morning, I eat fish, I eat my greens, no smoking, no alcohol. So why do I still feel weaker every day? Am I doing something wrong?" And my heart sank. Not because he was weak, but because I knew he was doing all the right things and still missing something important. You see, many older adults are doing their best. They move, they eat healthy, and yet they still lose muscle, still feel tired, still sense their bodies are slowing down, and it's not because they're doing anything wrong. It's because there's one truth that often goes unspoken. Aging doesn't just make you weaker. It changes how your body processes everything. When you're young, you eat a steak, your body absorbs the protein, turns it into strength and energy almost effortlessly. But after 50, things change. Your body starts having a harder time absorbing protein. Muscle cells become pickier. They don't use protein as efficiently. You might be eating enough, but your body isn't using it the same way. I often compare it to this. It's like sending a package to your house, but the person inside is too tired to open it, sort it, and use it. So yes, you can walk every day. You can eat well, but if your food isn't the right kind or your timing is off, your body still may not recover the way you hope. And that's why I always say, it's not about eating more, it's about eating right. It's not about doing more, it's about knowing what your body really needs. I once worked with a couple in their 70s. Very disciplined. They walked almost an hour every morning, avoided junk food completely, but he was steadily losing weight. She was losing strength in her hands and legs. We sat down together and reviewed their daily meals, and I realized while they were eating plenty of vegetables, they were lacking easily absorbed protein. They were missing healthy fats to help with nutrient absorption, and they weren't eating at the best times, like right after exercise, when the muscles are most ready to receive nutrients. So I made a few small suggestions. Add a boiled egg after the morning walk to take advantage of the open window for protein. Swap white rice for quinoa 2-3 times a week to boost essential amino acids. Include Greek yogurt in the afternoon, easy to digest, good for protein and gut health. And most importantly, go to bed early so the body has time to release the hormones that rebuild muscle. 2 months later, they walked into my clinic with steadier steps and brighter eyes. She looked at me and said, "Doctor, I used to think I was just getting old, but now I see I just didn't fully understand how my body was changing." Does that sound familiar to you? Have you ever felt disappointed, like you were doing everything right, and your body still didn't respond? If so, please don't blame yourself, because the body after 50 is a new map, and you just need to learn how to read it with patience and maybe a little guidance. Ask yourself, is what I'm eating actually being absorbed by my body? Am I eating at the right times when my muscles are ready to repair? Are my exercises aligned with the energy levels I have today? You don't need to complicate things, just observe, listen, and make one small adjustment at a time. Because in the end, it's not age that makes you weaker. It's using old strategies for a body that has entered a new chapter. I'm Dr. John, and I believe aging doesn't make you powerless. It simply invites you to become more thoughtful in how you care for yourself. There are days when your body just doesn't feel like yours. Your hands are a beat slower, your legs hesitate before standing. Your heart still beats strong, your mind still clear, but something feels off. You're not sick, you're not in pain, but something inside is shifting. Let me tell you, that feeling isn't a sign of decline. It's a signal, a gentle bell ringing from within. I'm changing. Please pay attention. You see, we're so quick to label these moments as just getting old, as if aging has to mean becoming weak, as if it's something we must resign ourselves to. But I don't believe that, and I hope you don't either. I believe that when your body speaks, it's not abandoning you, it's asking you to come back. I once had a patient, Mr. Walter, 79. He told me I used to think I was getting weaker, but really I was just hearing my body more clearly. That touched me, because in that moment he wasn't passive anymore. He became active just by noticing, and that is always the first step to change awareness. You can't change something you don't see, but the moment you do, the moment you realize your body needs a different kind of care, a gentler kind of love, you've already begun your recovery. This isn't decline, it's awakening. You haven't lost your strength. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just been quiet, waiting for you to return to it. Have you ever seen wildflowers by the roadside and all winter they sleep? People walk by and never notice. But come spring, just one ray of sunshine, one gentle rain, and those wildflowers bloom again, full of life. Your body's just like that. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, all it takes is the right signal, the right action, and it will begin to bloom again too. I know you're no longer the young person you were 30 years ago, but you're wiser now. You're someone who cherishes each meal, each night of sleep, every single step. You're someone who's lived enough to understand true health doesn't come from rushing, it comes from awareness. So if today you're feeling something off in your body, don't panic, don't be afraid, don't pressure yourself to fix it all at once. Just pause, take a deep breath, and simply say to yourself, I hear you, and I'm ready. I'm Dr. John, and I believe this with all my heart. You don't have to return to the person you once were. You only need to become the person your body has quietly been waiting for. If this message speaks to something in your heart, leave a comment. I'd love to know, when was the last time you truly listened to your body? And if today is a new beginning for you, I'll walk alongside you one step at a time. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you ate, not just to fill up, not just because it was time, but because you truly wanted to nourish your body? Many of us grew up in a generation where meals were about duty. We cooked for our husbands, our children, our workdays. And over time, eating became automatic as if it stopped being a conversation with ourselves. But now that your hair has turned silver now, that sleep doesn't come as easily, and your body isn't as quick as before each meal, if you choose, can be an act of love. I'm not talking about fancy dinners. I'm talking about the simplest things. A bowl of quinoa instead of white rice. A cup of Greek yogurt instead of that afternoon pastry. A light vegetable soup with less salt instead of the rich, heavy dishes we used to rely on. You might think that's just a small change, but trust me, your body notices, and it listens to every one of those choices. I once had a patient, her name was June, 73 years old. She told me I used to eat because I had to, but now I eat like I'm caring for a little girl inside me, tired, fragile, and needing comfort. That stopped me in my tracks, because I realized she no longer saw food as routine. She saw it as care, as tenderness, from a woman who spent a lifetime caring for others and finally remembered to care for herself. You see, the body doesn't ask for much. It doesn't need you to count every calorie or follow complicated diets. It just needs you to ask, will this help me heal? Will I feel good after eating this? Is this meal a gift I'm giving myself? Each time you choose a nourishing food, you're sending a message. I still care. I still want to be strong. I'm not giving up. And the incredible thing is, your body will respond. Not with big fireworks, not all at once, but slowly with deeper sleep. Less trembling in your hands, stronger steps, and a light in your eyes that only someone who's known fatigue can recognize. I once asked an elderly man, "Are you afraid of getting old?" He smiled and said, "I'm not afraid of aging, doc. I'm afraid of forgetting to care for myself while I still can." So if you're cooking today, put more than good ingredients into the pot. Put respect for yourself in there too, because you deserve a good meal, not because you're sick, but because you're alive and still want to live well. I'm Dr. John, and I believe taking care of your health isn't a chore. It's the gentlest form of love there is. So if today you can make one better food choice, do it. Not perfectly, just sincerely, because your body is still listening, and it will always answer as long as you begin from the heart.